opening night in Hat City, USA for the Danbury Hat Tricks in the FPHL 22-23 season. Welcome to the Danbury Hat Tricks official YouTube channel, the home of every single home broadcast throughout the course of the 22-23 season. Alongside Jim Cerny, I'm Chris Lynch. Jim, it's a happy, happy day in Danbury when there is hockey being played.
Yeah, you better believe it. Everyone's got a little bit more pep in their step, if you will, here in Danbury. Expecting a big crowd tonight for the season opener as the Hat Tricks take on the Delaware Thunder.
Of only about 10 minutes, and let's give you a couple notes about this Hat Tricks team. There's enough returning faces that people should be familiar with, most notably the 22 forward of the year in the FPHL, Johnny Ruiz, wearing the C again, and deservedly so after a magnificent season last year.
Yeah, magnificent is absolutely the word for it, Chris. 49 goals, 85 points, both establishing franchise records. And, you know, he's the all-time leading scorer for the franchise. There was some question in the offseason whether he was going to run it back and come back for a third season here in Danbury, but he made that decision after a few weeks to let his body heal. He comes back. Gordy Bonnell, his running mate on that top line, is healthy again as well. He'll be back this season. And Frankie McClendon, who was part of the three-headed monster in goal last season for the Hat Tricks, he not only is back, but he will get the opening night start.
In fact, McClendon also takes on an additional responsibility within the organization. He is an assistant coach on the NA3HL team, which will be playing here on Sunday, while the NAHL team is on the road up in Maine. It's a busy time for all levels of hockey. But just as importantly, for all of the players who are here, there's a couple of players, a bunch of important players who are not here. Aaron Atwell is still in the organization as a scout up in Ontario and still doing good cultural and societal work, very good as well, but he can't provide his steady presence on the blue line.
Yeah, and you know what? That might be among the biggest hits for this team. You know, a couple seasons ago, he was Defenseman of the Year, you know, here in the FPHL. And he was a top pairing guy that played 30 minutes a night last year when healthy. Again, always say that when healthy. He was always battling through something. And his partner, Steve Brown, also retired at the end of the season. So now you take your two top pair defensemen, and they're both, you know, no longer here. So those are big skates to fill for the Hat Tricks this season. Corey Anderson, a real fan favorite, big-time scorer up front, 32 goals last year. He retired at the end of the season. Phil Bronner retired at the end of the season. The starting number one goalie, Pete DeSalvo, retired at the end of the season. And the second leading goal scorer on the team last year, Evgeny Kuznetsov, Dmitry Kuznetsov.
Not to be confused with the player, the Stanley Cup winner in Washington.
Yes, if Evgeny were here, he would have been the leading scorer.
He would have scored 100 points easy.
But Dmitry is also not back because he got bumped up to the SPHL. So, you know, that's a lot of open positions, going to be a lot of new faces on the team this year, and one of which was signed just this week. Big signing in John Leonard being added to the team, guy that played split last year between the ECHL and the SPHL. So he brings big-time experience and big-time skill.
Leonard played for the Norfolk Admirals. He will be right up on that starting lineup. It's an all Mid-Atlantic. Leonard from Rockaway Park, Ruiz from Williamstown, New Jersey, and Bonnell from Mechanicsville, Maryland. All you need is a Delaware in there somewhere, and you're rounding out that region of the country.
Well, you have Delaware.
You have Delaware, literally, on the other side of the ice.
They're on the other side of the red line.
Though perhaps the most important returner to the Danbury Hat Tricks, behind the bench, Billy McCreary gets the spot and reassumes his spot that was his in the first season of this exercise.
And a great inaugural season it was for Billy and the Hat Tricks, of course, one that was cut short of the playoffs because of the coronavirus pandemic. But, you know, Billy did a terrific job as coach of the Hat Tricks that season, coach and GM, and he was the coach of the year here, you know, leading Danbury to the Eastern Division Championship. He stepped aside as coach. He coached the junior level the last 2 years, remained GM of the Hat Tricks. Dave McIsaac was the coach last year, led Danbury to a third-place finish here in the FPHL. But McIsaac stepped down at the end of the season, and Billy said, you know what, let's run it back. And I've got to tell you, Johnny Ruiz was telling me that is the key, he thinks, to this year's team, getting Billy back behind the bench. He said he's a great tactician. He's a great motivator, and he's a great teacher, and he's back behind the bench this season.
That makes complete sense for why you want to play for guys like that. You want to play for people. And we made the note repeatedly throughout training camp, man, Billy is running these guys.
Yes, yeah. It was an intense training camp, and I certainly saw a difference between last year and this year with the training camp. Part of that, though, I believe, is last year was such a veteran-laden roster, as we talked about, all the guys who ended up retiring, and plus veterans like Ruiz and Bunnell. But this year, it skews a little bit younger. You still have Ruiz, you still have Bunnell. Dustin Gesso is back this season as well. Frankie McClendon, an 8-year veteran, is still with the team. But there are a lot of young kids on this team, so it gives a fresh look. And Johnny Ruiz, again, to quote the captain, he told me, listen, it adds excitement. These kids, they're really hungry. He goes, I'm going to miss those veteran guys, but it adds an extra element of excitement having the, more youth on the roster this season. Let's see how it gels tonight in the season opener.
We'll throw things down to ice level where Kobe Kipnis will have the national anthem in just a little bit from here at the Danbury Ice Arena opening night here in Hat City, USA.
And we should
Herm Sorcher first.
Wow, fans. Hey, great to be here. Hope everybody had a great summer. This is the 14th season of professional hockey in Danbury, and that is all because of you, the fans, and the support you give these teams. Can't thank you enough. Great to be back here. So look, we're going to give you a great season. You're going to see some improvements all around the building. We want to hear your feedback. Most of all, we want you to have a good time and enjoy it with you and your families. Thanks for being here.
Before our national anthem, we'd like to observe a moment of silence for fallen Bristol police officers, Lieutenant Dustin DeMonte and Sergeant Alex Handy. Thank you. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, at this time we ask you to kindly stand, remove your caps, and direct your attention to the flag as we honor those who protect our freedom. Singing tonight's national anthem, please welcome Colby Kipnis.
Whose broad stripes
A fabulous performance by Colby Kipnis of the national anthem, and a very good and appropriate moment of silence for those Bristol police officers.
Yeah, absolutely. And you always have that respect here at Danbury Arena and in the city of Danbury. We should point out that the Hat-Tricks tonight on opening night, not wearing their typical home jerseys, the home blacks trimmed in the orange and all. They're wearing some different jerseys tonight. They will have the regular jerseys, hopefully for tomorrow, the second game of this weekend set against the Delaware Thunder. And the Thunder stealing right out from underneath the New Jersey Devils with their threads this season. A new look with that black and white stripes and Delaware written across the front, very similar to to the New Jersey Devils' third jersey that they first put out last season.
They'll be in their road blacks, going from right to left across your internet waves. Danbury in the NA3HL jerseys, the orange with the black numbers and letters. Letters going across the front of the jersey in diagonal style. Frankie McClendon in net for the Danbury Hat-Tricks at one end of the rink. And Trevor Martin, number 30, in net at the opposite end of the rink. They officially have to wait until the board comes down and so that they can properly. They've got that board up and running. Here we go. A long off season, the Hat-Tricks aiming to get themselves back to championship contention. The puck is dropped and we are underway from the Danbury Ice Arena for the brand new season. Hat-Tricks will just control it in the neutral zone and look for some place to break it up. Ruiz will just fling it on towards the net. Bunnell in hot pursuit. Whacks this more towards. Ruiz on top of it, not there. Rolls up to the top of the circle, winds up long shot, blocked before it ever gets on net. Up top, whacks at it, whiffed on the shot off the heel, did Ruiz. And back comes Delaware. They'll just take it for a nice little stroll and dump this in before they can do anything with it. Actually, a fortunate bounce. Keeps the puck in the attacking end. Danbury gets on top of it, and they'll look to clear this out the opposite side. Across the red line, and we'll play ping pong back and forth a little bit in the neutral zone as Danbury and Delaware switch out. Nearly a big, very fortunate bounce. Treating and up and running with it is Brendan Dowler, one of the new folks from Southern Maine. Played 4 years of college hockey at the NCAA D3 level up there to the circle. Up to the point, winds up, shoots it, and scores! 1 minute and 8 seconds in. A point shot tipped, and the Hat-Tricks strike first.
So that's Dustin Gesso cutting right in front of the young goaltender making his pro debut, Trevor Martin, and you can't blame Martin there at all. Hat-Tricks controlling the puck in the offensive zone. Puck comes back to the left point. That's Jared Yao, the defenseman, who played 1 game for Danbury last season. He just rifled it towards the net. Dustin Gesso times it perfectly, cuts in front, and he redirects it past Martin, and it's a quick 1-0 lead for the Hat-Tricks.
Carrots are all up on the ice. That's a great start to the season. That's a great way to start a season where you have championship ambitions. Score in the first minute and change of the hockey game.
Yeah, absolutely. And again, you saw the first 2 shifts, right? The one line change, you had the opening shift, line change, second shift. And where was the puck? Well, it was in Delaware's end, really since the first puck was dropped tonight. And I think you're going to see a lot of that. Danbury feels that, they're the better team. They certainly were last year when they finished 3rd in the FPHL. Delaware finished at the bottom of the league last season. They had a points percentage of just 16%, as they were 9-42-2. And you saw a lot of this. Delaware chasing the game early, where they would fall behind and just didn't have the firepower to come back. And, you hate to run it back for them the way it went for them last season, to start off the same exact pattern here tonight. But for Danbury, they will take it. And Dustin Gesso, who had a terrific season last year with 21 goals in 30 games last year, gets on the board right away.
Yep. Definitely very happy with that start. Jesso, the Scarborough, Ontario native. The officials just cleaning up the pucks so that we can move along with this here hockey game. Or really the carrots, actually. That's the celebration
That's
here.
the tradition.
The building is filling in very nicely here on opening night. Delaware wins the faceoff cleanly. Eric Kaufman wins it back. And now the Thunder look to try and get themselves up and going. Hat tricks. Gain at the blue line. Puck slashed out. This is going to be the first power play of the season. Immediately, it's a slashing minor against Delaware. It's iced. It doesn't matter. It just starts the power play a little bit quicker. And immediately, just seconds after you give up the first goal, you take the game's first penalty as well. And also, painful irony, Seamus Lombard goes off for that slashing minor.
Yeah, Seamus Lombard was in camp briefly for a few days with the Hat Tricks. He was released the other day after John Leonard was signed. He takes the penalty here. And again, you talk about just mere seconds, just 17 seconds after Jesso opened the scoring, his first of the season. Yao with the only assist on that goal that came at 1:08. The penalty comes at 1:25.
5 seconds burned off. The Hat Tricks were offsides. They have to let this one roll down a bit. Gained and gathered up and flung to the opposite end of the rink, or at least back to neutral ice. Delaware's got a chance. Wilson cuts in, looks for the chance. Oh, McClendon diving around. It never really got on top of him. A brilliant attack. Brilliant.
And a good job by Johnny McDonald helping out Frankie McClendon there. He came back, cleared the puck out of the blue paint. McClendon kind of overplayed the shot there, and McDonald had to come back and clean up the loose puck in the paint.
Benell sets up along the boards, flings it across the opposite dot, winds up slap shot. That goes into the protective netting over the glass. So we'll stop with 47 seconds of the power play burned off.
I didn't even have time to welcome you, not only to the broadcast, but to Danbury, Chris, because, goals are being scored, penalties are being taken, carrots are being tossed on the ice, but Chris Lynch, welcome.
This is
a Danbury Hat Tricks.
Thank you. This is very fun. I'm enjoying this a tremendous amount. People here have been so nice and so welcoming and just so lovely to work with. Crossing into the slot, puck bounces free, and the Thunder will hurl this to the opposite end. McClendon has to play this for the first time properly. That frantic, sprawling sequence, the puck never actually got on top of him. Kicked out. That's actually a really nice defensive play for Delaware to just knock that out of play. I guess it turns into soccer sometimes if you don't have your stick. Here come the Hat Tricks. Flying Hawaiian will just leave it behind. Gets around one defender, gaining does Jesso, the first goal scorer. Turns and looks to the circle. Rolls around a defender. Really runs out of real estate. Has some help. Oh, that sneaks through at the point. Andrew Whalen there for it. It'll find its way all the way down to the opposite corner. Just 15 seconds left. One more rush opportunity for the Hat Tricks. And that's that. The first power play of the season is killed off. Still an offensive chance for Danbury as they continue to possess it in the attacking end of the ice. Up to the circle. Delaware is going to carry this out. Nope. Play is going to be blown dead.
You mentioned the flying Hawaiian. That is Zach Pamaleon making his professional debut tonight for the Hat Tricks. He's wearing number 13. 5'9", 159-pounder, little guy, but boy, he's got some good speed and a lot of offensive skill. Last year at Bryn Athyn College, 73 points, including 26 goals in only 20 games. He indeed is the flying Hawaiian. He is from Hawaii, but he's played a lot of hockey in junior and all in the state of Pennsylvania.
And by the way, almost immediately, another penalty going against Delaware. Number 27 sitting in the box for them. And so back the Hat Tricks come looking for more offense to the slot. Shot just over the top corner. Exactly where Ruiz wanted to put it. Comes back out to neutral ice, gathered out by McDonald. Expect to hear these names called together. Bonnell, Ruiz, probably Leonard, and McDonald. Expect them to be called together frequently. Flung down to the opposite end of the rink, and, well, Delaware is getting good penalty kill opportunities already.
Yeah, and they're doing a good job. Not really allowing Danbury to set up on the power play. Last season, Delaware was worst in the league on the penalty kill.
9 wins all year last year for the Thunder. Head coach Lou Santini, also the general manager of the team, hoping for a bit more success, specifically against this team. These two units met up 6 times in the slightly altered COVID year, and 6 times the Danbury Hat-Tricks came away with a win. Shot save made. Martin's actually had a couple of really nice plays in net. Circle shot, that goes up and over into the protective netting, and we'll get another face-off.
Yeah, it's Dustin Gesso there. Had a good, clean look. And actually, Martin had a really good look at the shot as well, but it never got through, sticked up into the netting.
15:02 left to go. About 5 minutes of this game played, already a goal belonging to the Hat-Trick Circle. Shot save made. Box straight back up to the circle. Wants to muscle it down to the slot. Pitched up and carried out to neutral ice by the Thunder's Luc Pierre-Louis. Down to the opposite end of the rink, gathering up is Pamaleon. He'll leave it behind and carrying it on forward. Pamaleon will just send this round the dasher, settled down by Martin. Will look to play it with his stick, gets it into open ice. The Delaware Thunder are 2 for 2 on the penalty kill so far this evening as the penalty expires. Backhanded on, trying to go for... I'm not sure if they intentionally tried to float that one over the net for somebody to play it in Gretzky's office.
Yeah, I don't think that was Kodiak Whitetuck's game plan there.
If it works, it works. It didn't work, it wasn't a plan.
Yeah.
Just kind of a somewhat interesting little accident, I suppose. 6 minutes gone by in the opening period of the season. Shots only 2-1. Gaining, winds up, shoots it. Tobias Ojic took some punishment. His second year in the Hat-Tricks, and normally he's the one dishing out the punishment. Takes the tumble down to the ice. Daniel Amesbury gets on top of it. Amesbury in pursuit, throws a big check, jars the puck free, and you know what the people in Danbury like to see. You've seen the Netflix documentary.
Yeah, they're going to like Daniel Amesbury, to say the least.
A veteran of the Ice Wars,
yes,
among his other, hockey accomplishments.
And he is just taking the body on this shift through 3 big hits on his first shift as a Danbury hat-trick.
Gathered up by Brendan Dowler. Turnover, Delaware looking for their first sustained offensive time. Dowler separates his opponent, Houston Wilson, from the puck. Flung and hits the official. Delaware might catch a real break here. Walks into the circle, gains it, shoots it wide and over the crossbar. First shot, no on goal, no chance for it. Ruiz cuts it across the middle, looks for the circle, tipped in front. Ruiz couldn't quite control it, otherwise he had a real good shot. Left in the opposite corner for Stephen Leonard, the Rockaway Park, New York native. Turns, looks for somewhere to go with it. Swapping players on the fly. Leonard kept it on his stick for a long while. We have 3 sticks just sitting on the ice, and we have another Delaware penalty up and coming as McClendon goes to the bench for the extra attacker. They're going to get that possession blown dead as they tie each other up in the corner. And that's that. 12:17, the time to go. We'll take a breather, come back in just a little bit from the Danbury Ice Arena here on the Danbury Hat-Tricks YouTube channel.
Well, Buzz 8 Appliance and Scratch and Dent Outlet is the local leader for appliances and household wares. And if you like to eat, well, they've got a refrigerator. They're a place to go. Do you want clean clothes? Well, they've got a washer for you as well. And a dryer if you want to dry the clothes that you just washed. They got it all. Buzz 8 Appliance.
Puck is dropped. Third Danbury hat-trick's power play in the first 7 minutes and change of this game. Alex Susi sitting in the sin bin for this one. Winds this one up top, looks for the shot, wide and off the end boards. This will be flung down to the opposite end. That was a 4-minute double, actually. A 4-minute double minor against Susi. That's a big old bucket of yikes for them.
Yeah, Danbury's got to take advantage, though. They have not taken advantage on all these opportunities so far.
Shots are 7-1 in the hat-trick's favor. This is the first of 2 games these teams will play against each other here at this building on opening weekend. Spins and looks for somewhere to go with it. Wants to center it. The room isn't there. Knocked down and kept in right at the point. Lines up, looks for somewhere to go with it. Shoots it wide and off the left side. This will find its way back out to neutral ice. McDonald will retreat and go and get it.
Yeah, the hat-tricks had it set up nicely there. You want McDonald firing from inside the point, as he did. They had a good screen with Gesso in front. He just didn't put it on net. And there was a pretty-looking save by Martin, as coming down the wing was Leonard, and he took the drop pass and then fired, tried to go top shelf. That was a good glove save right there by Martin.
He's held his own so far in net. To his credit, the one goal that managed to find its way through from Gesso
was a deflection. Nothing he could have done on that one.
That's entirely correct. Flung to the opposite end of the ice. McClendon will knock this down, backhand it forward, looking for somewhere to gather. Knocked backwards. Retreating and gathering it is Bennell. Takes a big old check from Wilson. 3 players engaged. This is good penalty killing. Corner battles in the opposite end of the rink. Leonard wants it across. Gaining and going. Looks for somewhere to go with it to the circle. Knocked down. 2 minutes left to go, so they're going to treat this as a regular old minor power play. Retreats and looks. Swaps spots. Down to the right circle. The goal line extended. Wanted the tip in front. It wasn't quite there, but exactly the right idea for Tristan Mock. Coming in here from Westfield State up in Massachusetts. Shot and gathered up from the point on the shot by McDonald. 9:53 the time to go. Quick moving game so far, actually.
Yeah, absolutely, even with the penalties. Tristan Mock, one of several Danbury hat-tricks, making his professional debut tonight. We should point out that the hat-trick scratches are Marquise Grant Mentis, forward up front. Mike Lopez, who was part of the team last year, he scratched tonight as well. And rookie defenseman Cody Gibbs is also a healthy scratch.
If you know anything about this league and these teams, they will change. The personnel is going to change not infrequently throughout the course of the season. Holds and looks, winds up, shoots it. That's off the end glass. It may have been blocked before it ever got on net, actually. The circle, dances around a defender, wants it in, sits right out in front. The hat-tricks will regroup and regather. Ojic taking the spot right in front of the net. The money spot, and really the dirty money spot in all hockey. Up top, circle, steps in, shot, wide and off the end boards. Gathered up, 53 seconds left to go on the power play. That shot out in front, loosened in the circle, and knocked out to the opposite end of the rink by Artur Chirkov, one of a couple Russian players on this Danbury unit, on this Delaware unit, forgive me. Ojic runs in, puck free for a moment. Danbury gathers it up again, wants to get it up to the point, kept in. Very nice handles by Dustin Gesso. He's a fun player to watch. Crossing off the end boards, want to get it up to the top. This is very good penalty killing by Delaware.
Yeah, it's a great job. This is a double minor that they're killing off right here.
Off the high part of the glass. They'll retreat backwards. And Leon will just retreat. And that is that. The Delaware Thunder are 3 for 3 on the penalty kill. A lot of that really does go to how well their goalie, Trevor Martin, has played so far here tonight. Flying in is Jesso. Shot knocked down, and that is that. We'll take a breather, come back in just a moment from the Danbury Ice Arena. The remainder of the first period on the Hat Tricks YouTube channel.
Well, Chris, Litchfield Distillery, it's the spirit of hard work. The Bachelors of Litchfield Distillery, in honor of the early farmers of Northwest Connecticut, present to you the locally made Litchfield Distillery bourbon, vodka, and gin. Grab it at the rabbit hole and hoist the barrel with the Hat Tricks.
That's always a favorite around here. Bunch of new additions. TK's Corner, a bar in the arena in addition to the Axe Tricks.
It's pretty awesome.
It's a pretty great spot. Circle shot just a little bit outside the post. Thunder starting to get at least a few offensive chances. That penalty kill can be a good win for you if you're able to capitalize on it, and it demoralizes the other team as well. The Hat Tricks haven't allowed any gains at the offensive line. That's Luke Richards who knocked that down, gets it to the circle, shoots it, and it goes into the protective netting. Richards, one of the new folks on the unit for the Hat Tricks.
Yeah, he's another kid just out of college, young player, really impressed in training camp. Billy McCreary spoke really highly of him, and 5'9", 174-pounder, 21-year-old kid from Stonehill College that seemed destined to play overseas. He had planned to go play in Sweden, came to training camp, won himself a pro job here in Danbury.
Draw one ultimately by the Hat Tricks, settled and flung high off the glass, kept in for a moment at the blue line. Retreating and gathering that one up is Leonard. An incomplete fourth line, just one player, that being Amesbury, playing on the fourth line. So head coach Billy McCreary decided to go with three, and diluting and taking actually a pretty good check was Gordy Bennell. The older, more veteran players. Two players with letters right now on this unit. Ruiz with the C and Bennell with the A. Both of them have taken their fair share of punishment in this sport. And for somewhere to go with it. Up and knocked down right at the blue line. Shot flung on and gathered up by Martin. A play that's not dissimilar to how the first goal almost looked like a disaster.
Yeah. I mean, it was very, very similar. Again, that's Jared Yao keeping the puck in along the blue line. This time he wasn't necessarily at the left point. He was a little bit more towards the middle. But he got the puck in quickly. It was off his stick, and he was sending it on net. The difference this time, no traffic in front. Martin saw it clearly and cleanly and made the save.
Dennis Gafarov won the face-off for the Thunder. McClendon thought there may have been an icing call. There will not be one. Hat Tricks gathered up in their own. Shot counter is tilted very heavily in the Hat Tricks' favor. 13-2. Blasted off the end boards, round the dasher. Gathered up for a moment by Artur Aloyan. And the Hat Tricks will retreat into their own end of the rink. Jared Yao, the Richmond, British Columbia native who played one game last year for the Hat Tricks, gets the opening night start. Scoreboard has stopped. I'm just realizing right now that timer on the scoreboard has stopped, and I can't imagine that I'm the only person who has figured this out. The in-arena scoreboard is not running right now.
That would be suboptimal.
Here's hoping that gets fixed. I'm just amazed that I seem to be the only person in the building who has figured that out.
Big hit thrown there by Tobias Ojek.
And you expect to see a lot of punishment. Very young guy, Tobias Ojek.
Was the youngest guy on the team last season.
Lines up, shoots it, not there. Martin with a very good save out in front to knock it down. Retreats and looks. The shot counter is at 14-2. This is pitchforked up. murmurs starting to go through the crowd of, hey, the clock isn't running on either of the scoreboards, and that will be gathered up. It should be stopping at about 4:46, and it just burned down 1 second.
Oh, well, and the officials appear not to know this.
The officials don't know this. Are we going to move on and play as though they're going to keep moving on and playing as though nobody noticed? The board is still not running. Now it is as though it's 6:40. Oh, accidental time added back onto the scoreboard.
It's opening night for everybody, Chris. Meanwhile, off the face-off win there, Tobias Ojic won the face-off, collected the puck, and then zipped the shot on net, and another good save by Martin. He's got a quick glove.
14 saves on the 15 shots that he has faced. That shot blocked in the circle before it ever had a chance of going on net. Whacked at nearly up to the line, and gathered up again by Danbury for but a fleeting second. From the red line and in, of course, no icing. McClendon glides out of his net to go play the puck. Looks whacked and hit hard into the boards. They'll get this one out to neutral ice, and sitting on the logo, running forward onto the circle, winds up, shoots it, not there. Hat-tricks have had a couple of those opportunities where it just looks like they're starting to gel together and still don't look like they're together. Delaware with a chance here. Dances to the circle. Looks shot. Saved by McClendon. And that'll blow play dead with 5:51 left. So the scoreboard tells me.
Yeah, give or take, right? You talked about the chance down at the other end for Danbury. They had a 3-on-2 there, but it was a slow-moving 3-on-2. And by the time Richard shot it from the left wing, the Delaware defenseman was able to get in position and get his stick in the way, so the shot would never went on goal to test Martin.
Hat-tricks win the face-off. Good job by Johnny Ruiz, who will be asked to take an awful lot of draws throughout the season. Looks to spring, but now he runs directly into the official. Still a chance out in front. Goes right through Ruiz. Maybe an uncalled penalty there as the Thunder will get this one up. Big check thrown by Jared Yao. 6 foot tall, a $185, and willing to use every ounce of it. Out to the opposite end and retreating. Yao, Richmond, British Columbia native, will look for it forward, and the Hat-tricks will complete a line change.
Yeah, Dennis Kafarov there got the stick up on Johnny Ruiz right in front of the Delaware net, and a couple of Hat-tricks went after him there. Yao had the bigger hit, and then Gordy Bonnell took a run at him as well. Just letting him know, you do not do that to our captain.
I'm disappointed by the lack of actual gloves being dropped, but there is still, 2/3 of this hockey game left to be played. I'm sure they won't disappoint me. To the slot, looking for somewhere else to go with it. The Thunder will turn and go the opposite direction. Kaufman dances through, and some Hat-tricks catch up to him. Delaware keeps it in the attacking end. Kaufman was down. Otherwise, he had a real shot at putting that in the back of the net.
And a good back check there by Dustin Gesso, and he calmly brings it out the other way.
To the circle. Dips around a defender, keeps it on his backhand, waits for reinforcements. Great job shielding the puck. Sends it down to the opposite end. Amesbury there for it. Under player tumbles down, kept in at the point. Shot on, just a little bit wide of the net. And cleared out to the opposite end. Icing waved off. John Amantidis tied up with a couple of players. Cordell Boyko, one of them for the Hat-tricks. Evan Lugo, the returning player, gets this one up and forward to Luke Richards. Wants it out in front, and it's gathered up by Cameron Wilson before they can get onto anywhere else. And Wilson is down. Cameron Wilson is down behind the play. And the officials are going to blow the play dead, as they rightly should. We're going to take a breather and come back in a little bit here at the Danbury Ice Arena. Brief pause, back in just a second from Hat City, USA. Park in the Patriot Garage across the street from the Danbury Ice Arena. It's safe, secure, and legal. Make sure the only ticket you get is to the game. TK's American Cafe on White Street in Danbury. Stop by TK's and try one of their 76 amazing wing flavors. My favorite is the Gold Rush. And check them out at www.tkamericancafe.com. Hat-Trick's looking for somewhere to go with it. Amesbury throwing a big old check at that last opportunity in the last shift. Thunder looking for some offense. They wanted a cross and find an awaiting Hat-Trick stick instead. Ruiz trying to spring behind. Winds up, slap shot. That goes up into the protective netting. Martin with a save. Boy, Ruiz is a terrifying player for the opposition when he's coming right downhill.
Yeah, Johnny coming full speed there. And he loves that spot, shooting from the right circle like he did. He blasted it towards the net. Good save by Martin. You refer to Daniel Amesbury with the big hit. Wilson seems to be okay. Boy, he was crumpled behind the net.
Puck sits right in front of the crease. Hat-Tricks take a couple of whacks at it. Winds up and scores again! The Hat-Tricks finally capitalize and make it 2-0 with 3:09 left to go in the opening stanza. Fan favorite. Actually, no. Is that Leonard or Bennell? Leonard went through it first. I think that was Stephen Leonard who got the first one.
That was Stephen Leonard in his Hat-Tricks debut, and we talked about him in the Open, about how he is going to be a key guy this season. A lot of experience and a lot of skill, and experience at a higher level. And here you just see he collects, and he's just going to turn around and zip it right past, Martin. We talk about how good Martin's glove hand has been. Well, that time he was no match for Stephen Leonard, who gets his first goal, and it comes in his Hat-Tricks debut. He's a guy back in 2020-21, before the Hat-Tricks decided not to ice a team because of the coronavirus pandemic in a shortened season here in the FPHL, who signed a contract with his twin brother to play here for the Hat-Tricks. And as it turned out, Hat-Tricks didn't play that season. Leonard played for a couple other teams in the FPHL, then played in the SP and the ECHL last season. And, Hat-Tricks catch a break. He was available. They signed him this week, and he's here, less than a week, and he already has found the back of the net.
Brief pause in action. Trevor Martin attending to something on his helmet. Looked like it came loose, so he will glide his way back over between the pipes. 3 minutes, 9 seconds left to be played here in the opening stanza of play tonight. And a couple of good goals already. Actually, the right wingers getting both of the tallies in Leonard and Gesso. First and second line right wingers so far here tonight. Delaware looking to get themselves back into the game. O'Reilly absorbs a big old body check from John McDonald. Up and forward, sneaking behind to the circle. Offsides called. Tristan Mock cheating a little bit too much and is called for it.
Yeah, Tristan Mock, boy, his eyes must have been about yay big, and I know people can't see how far I'm holding my index finger and my thumb, but his eyes must have been so wide here in his pro debut, breaking down one-on-one with Martin, but rightfully whistled for the offside.
Nice body check thrown by Ojek. Kept in at the blue line, active hand and good reach by Andrew Whalen. Got it up. They're announcing the scoring on the goal. Johnny Ruiz gets an assist on that goal. And Gordy Bennell does as well. The top line all figures into the second hat-trick goal of the game and season. Kaufman, forward, circle, wanted the tip again. On the play from Brendan O'Reilly. Hat-Tricks can create a 2-on-2 on McDonald. Runs this one to the circle, drop shot, knuckleball shot, and gathered up by Martin before any more damage can be done.
Yeah, that actually, it's a flubbed shot by Dustin Gesso, but you called it perfectly. It's a knuckleball. So here's Wilson expecting, a little bit more zip on that shot, and he goes down, is in position, and instead this thing comes fluttering at him, and he did a good job keeping that puck out of the net.
off the tie-up. High off the glass, retreating and going back to get it is Cordell Boyko. Wants to use the net as a shield, but Clendon looked like he was about ready to throw a check himself. Boyko takes this one much of the way, dumps this one down, and racing to go and get it is Zach Pamaleon. Puck, whoa, that rolled right across the goal mouth and was not there. Hat tricks, we'll go again. Pamaleon to the circle, goes to the goal line extended, runs out of real estate, still keeps the puck with him. Loves spinning like a pirouette ballet specialist. Wants to get this one up to the point. Down to the goal line extended in the corner. Winds up for the big-time blast shot. Blocked before it ever has a chance to get on net off Jared Yau's stick. Puck still free. 1 minute, 20 seconds left to be played in the opening stanza. 2 goals already for the Danbury Hat-Tricks. Richards in pursuit. And the Thunder are going to come away with this one for a moment. They can't quite. Now they do get it out, but not really that far. Yao regains, and Hat-Tricks are just going to go for a partial swap as we hit the last minute of the first period. Thunder elude the check, and on charging, Stephen Leonard had some ideas. Leonard will dump this one down. Ruiz, first player to get there. Daniel Amesbury out there as well. That goes up into the netting, so that's going to stop play at 40 seconds left.
So you mentioned Amesbury out, here on the final shift of the period. He's played about 3 or 4 shifts. He has not played pro hockey in a number of years, but he's a guy, that's played at higher levels, of professional hockey, and has always been, that rugged guy.
Ooh, jump shot right off the hop. Running on and attacking was Andrew Whalen, and a defenseman who does have some offensive jump to his game.
Absolutely. And finishing the thought on Amesbury, listen, the man can fight.
Yes.
And he's part of the Ice Wars. He's known as Diamond Hands, King of the Rink. Certainly he's here for that. But as Billy McCreary was telling us before the game, Amesbury's a player, too.
Yeah.
And he's a good veteran player. He's got good experience at higher levels, and that he's going to be, once he gets himself into really tip-top shape, he's going to be a very important guy for this team this season.
Great breakup by Andrew Whalen. He'll spring that one free. And as Delaware had their best offensive chance go by the wayside for them. Final couple of seconds. Nice big old check thrown by Amesbury. Amesbury having a nice friendly chat with J.C. Moritz. Play stops with 4.3 seconds left. They're playing, they're expecting a brawl. They're expecting some words.
Now Stephen Leonard has stepped in to have a few words along the bench there.
Johnny McDonald there as well. He's going to glide away. Blinded by the light or blinded by the hit. They're playing the hit song from The Weeknd in the background, and it seems pretty fitting. And the boos for the penalty. Amesbury is sitting in the box with 4 seconds left to go.
Yeah, and here's the other side of it. Yeah, he's a great fighter. Yeah, he can deliver the big body check and, be responsible defensively. But you gotta play smart hockey.
Yep.
And taking a penalty like that right in front of the official with 4.3 seconds to go in the period.
That's immensely stupid.
It
hockey.
is not a smart play by Amesbury.
The very fortunate thing is they can just take the draw, win it, staple it into the corner boards, and that is that for a successful first period of the season for the Danbury Hat-Tricks. 2 goals, shots 19-2 in your favor. You would have liked something on those power plays, but there's really not that much you can be dissatisfied with in the opening couple of minutes.
No, and again, the Amesbury penalty, not ideal, because now what happens is Zamboni comes out, you get a fresh sheet of ice, it's not all chippy and chewed up, and Delaware will get almost a full 2 minutes on their power play here to open up the second period, and a chance to get back in a game that really you haven't been in since the first minute of the season. So we'll see how Danbury handles the penalty kill. But you talk about things that didn't go Danbury's way. Well, that would be the one thing but otherwise, they have controlled the game territorially. They've had the better chances. And I got to tell you, hats off to Trevor Martin.
Yes.
17 first period saves in his professional debut. I know he got beat twice, but boy, I thought he was really sharp. Good looking first period for a good looking rookie goalie.
I mean, I'm not sure what exactly he's supposed to do in that situation with as many shots on both goals, really, where he got beat, shot from the point that got tipped, and a really, really nice play by a skilled and veteran offensive player for the 2 goals. I'm not really sure how exactly you can be all that miffed or all that annoyed with how your goalie performed in that one. He was clearly your best player.
Absolutely. Coach Lou Santini's got to be very, very happy, with Trevor Martin. He's a guy he played in the Western Hockey League.
Yeah.
So he played at a very high level. He played at Red Deer, Saskatoon, and Calgary in the Western League. So he has a guy that's got a little pedigree to him. He's 26 years old, a rookie. He's a guy to keep an eye on in this league because players like that, especially goalies with that kind of pedigree, even playing for maybe a team that may not be an upper echelon team, if he continues to play like that, he's a guy that will get looked at when teams in the SP, for example, may need a backup, similar to how it was with Brian Wilson and the hat tricks last night. But we're getting ahead of ourselves. Bottom line is, good first period for Danbury. Certainly could have run up the score had they clicked on the power play. They did not, but they still have a 2-0 lead.
Zambonis are out on the ice. We'll take a quick breather, come back in a little bit with some words from our sponsors and friends who make all of this happen, and a couple of more thoughts and observations on the first period to set up the second frame. Chris Lynch and Jim Cerny on the call on the Danbury Hat Tricks YouTube channel from Hat City, USA. And a very strong opening to the Hat Tricks 22-23 season. Delaware Garage in New Preston, specializing in batteries, brakes, and general service. When you're stuck, you're in luck. You don't need a bike if you call Mike. That's Delaware Garage. Second period just about set to get underway between the Hat Tricks and the Delaware Thunder. Chris Lynch and Jim Cerny on the call with you here this pleasant opening evening of the FPHL season here in Hat City, USA. 2 goals for the Hat Tricks in the opener, and there could have been many, many more.
Yeah, if not, as we talked about, if not for Trevor Martin, the rookie goalie, who, while he was sitting in the dressing room, got credited with another save. So the shot totals were updated. Danbury outshooting Delaware 20-3 in that opening period. Dustin Gesso opened the scoring at 1:08, and Jared Yao with the lone assist. Gesso deflecting in the point shot past Martin. So it was 1-0 at 1:08. And Steve Leonard, his first goal with the Danbury Hat Tricks, and his Hat Tricks debut from Johnny Ruiz and Gordy Bennell at 16:51. And that's where we are right now. Danbury, after one period, heading into period number 2 with a 2-0 lead.
Hat Tricks in their home orange uniforms, really in the NA3HL uniforms, but still it's home orange for Danbury, whatever level it is. The regular uniforms will come in when they come in. Johnny Ruiz out to take the opening draw. They have 1:55 worth of penalty time to kill off for Amesbury. And he took a penalty right at the very end of the first period of regulation time. A pretty unfortunately not bright penalty to take at that time.
Yeah, and you know, the concern here too is Frankie McClendon, you know, just went through a period when he only faced 3 shots, and one was a little bit difficult, the other 2 were routine, and now, you know, he might be a little bit under the gun to open this period here, maybe a little cold as Delaware goes to their first power play of the season. Let's see how it fares.
Retreating and looking for some place to go with it is Houston Wilson. He'll gather up, wait. Andrei Ivanov gathers and leaves it. Artur Oilian will send this one forward to the red line and across, tumbling down and backwards. First 30 seconds of the frame burned off already.
Johnny Ruiz good on the forecheck here. Boy, forcing Delaware back deep into their own end, and they have to regroup behind their own net, killing valuable time on the power play.
Gets it up to the blue line, retreats and looks tipped. Bennell trying to send it out to neutral ice. Another whack at it by Leonard and sent down to the opposite end of the rink. And a pretty good penalty kill so far by the Danbury Hat Tricks.
Discombobulated power play so far for Delaware, but it was an aggressive forecheck led by Johnny Ruiz that really set Delaware back.
Wilson has played this whole power play shift. That is going to be an icing. That is a
cardinal sin. That is a cardinal sin. You cannot be icing the puck when you're on the power play.
No, goodness, no.
I mean, you have the man advantage. Work your man advantage, and you ice the puck. I mean, you know, that's a pretty inexcusable mistake right there, Chris. And
yeah.
Now the faceoff comes all the way back in Delaware's end. 41 seconds remain on their power play.
In truth, really, neither of these teams have looked that impressive on the power play.
Yeah, no, it's a very good point. Danbury certainly struggled early in the first period as well on the power play.
Gafarov eludes a check, runs out of possession room, lofted up to the attacking corner, spins out of the worst of a hit by Dowler. Across the opposite side of the circle, takes a weird kick off the open spot in the boards, and flung down to the opposite end of the rink. 13 seconds left to go on the Delaware power play.
On net, that would have gone dead central if there was no goalie right there. That was pretty impressive.
That's pretty nice, and immediately a tripping minor. It will be 2 seconds of 5-on-3 skating time for Delaware as Amesbury will come out and is joined by Tobias Ojic in net for 2 minutes on tripping.
Yeah, Billy McCreary's not going to be happy about that one either. I mean, that's a lazy penalty. That's, you're not even trying to make a play. Guys just going by and, you stick the stick out and you trip them, and it's probably accidental, but, that's another thing that cannot happen, and certainly Billy McCreary is not happy about it.
accidental or not. That's going to be swallowed up by McClendon. He hasn't really faced all that much pressure. That was only the third shot that he has seen so far tonight. Now, fourth shot, as that is going to be updated.
Yeah, and good, listen, Delaware got the puck, win a face-off in the offensive zone. That's what you got to do on the power play.
Well, look on the bright side for the Hat-Tricks. It is an excellent opportunity to practice the penalty kill. They nearly got a running start, running right downhill, but no dice on this one. Thunder looking to set this up, and not allowed to do so. Flung to the opposite end of the rink by Boyko. Martin up to play it. He's pretty active with his stick hands. Cross neutral ice. Gaining and looking. Jolin will have to retreat backwards. This is floated up. The field goal is good, but it's the wrong sport.
Yeah. Again, these mistakes, you cannot be making these kinds of mistakes. It's your entry. You're on the power play. It's just a simple entry. Get the puck in, and instead he scales it up and over the glass. And now the faceoff comes out to center ice, and Delaware's got to start all over again.
Zach Pamaleon is out to take the draw. It's down. Nice check by Bunnell. Thunder get on top of it. Bunnell using his body again. And this unit of Bunnell and Pamaleon is a very good penalty-killing duo.
Smart play by Pamaleon there, taking the puck at the blue line, skating it backwards, open up the ice, kill some more time, and now the hat-trick shoot it all the way down. That's a heady play there by the kid from Hawaii.
Andre Ivanov will send this one forward and right up the gut. Dances around a couple of opponents, sits against the end boards, one whack at it. Delaware looking to set up and get this one to the slot. Takes it to the opposite corner instead for at least a moment. Eludes the worst of a check, leaves it up top. Ivanov gathered up, sent it down, and sits right on the awaiting stick of Andrew Whalen, who flings it to the opposite end of the rink for the final 20 seconds of the power play for the Thunder.
More good forechecking here on the penalty kill, and Gesso comes away with the puck momentarily, knocks his man to the ice. Really good job on the PK by Danbury, in this case, veteran Dustin Gesso.
Brilliant physical play. Jars this free, shoots it, and scores! His second goal of the game! 3-0 Hat-Tricks!
Boy, that was a hell of a shift by Dustin Gesso right there. First, killing off the remainder of Delaware's power play, working the puck in deep, turning it over a couple times. Delaware turned it over a couple times because of Gesso's pressure, and then he comes away with the puck right there between the circles, and this is just a nasty finish.
Brilliant shot, very, very wonderful, excellent play. Oh, puck right on net. And that's right after the Hat-Tricks kill off 2 penalties. And now we've got some pleasant discussions, I'm sure.
Yeah, Tobias Ojcik out of the penalty box and right into the mix.
Did you expect anything else?
No.
You know this team very well.
But yeah, Dustin Gesso, boy, I mean, that was just some great individual hard work by Gesso, who's in by himself on the forecheck. And, I mean, great job, and then it killed the rest of the penalty. The goal was actually an even strength goal, as it came at 3:57, 3 seconds after Ojcik came out of the box.
Thunder back to the opposite end, looking to try and get to the forehand. They've done frequently, have gotten themselves at least deep in the Hat-Tricks end, but they've kept it on their backhands, haven't been able to get into shooting position throughout any point of this game. Danbury looking to go at it. Ojcik pursues and leaves it across on the opposite side for Tristan Mock. Up top, tipped out and into neutral ice. Dowler in pursuit. He'll run this down. Puck knocked off of his stick for but a moment. Thunder looking for some work. Knocked out to neutral ice. A very nice diving play by Jared Yao. I get that's the sort of play that will show up in a coach's film study.
Yow's had himself a nice night.
Up to the red line, looking for somewhere to go with it. Knocked down into neutral ice. Amesbury in pursuit. Just going to leave it alone. And the Thunder will retreat back into their own end of the rink. The more I look at it, the more you're right. This really does look like kind of a rip-off of the New Jersey Devils Alternates.
Yeah, it really does.
I mean, to be fair, the Hat Tricks jerseys are basically the Flyers jerseys with
No.
It's a slightly different type of orange.
I don't agree at all.
Mostly, I just said that to see who I could annoy. Puck jarred out to neutral ice, retreating. Boyko will look for someplace forward to go with it. Finds empty space. Ruiz in pursuit. That was sent before the red line, so it is not icing. Leonard takes the check, absorbs it, rolls this one around the boards, up to the blue line. Kodiak White Duck, that shot on from the opposite side. White Duck absorbs the punishment. Puck comes down, tries the wraparound, does Ruiz, denied. And out come the Thunder into the, into the neutral end of the rink.
And guess who comes back on the back check to steal the puck? And now hat tricks come the other way. Dustin Gesso again.
Leonard out in front, wanted to try and slip it through to Gesso, going for the hat trick. Nice check thrown. Luke Richards draws some nice applause to the circle. Delaware looking for the attack shot, stopped by McClendon. And leave this round to the opposite side. Delaware has only gotten one shot at a time. They haven't gotten multiple chances on McClendon. They really haven't had to make him work at any point so far tonight, to tell you the truth. Up to the blue line, pitchfork down and off the end boards. Wanted to go for a nice drop pass. Circle shot, save made by McClendon. Loose puck is covered up by McClendon. And for the first time, the Oakland, California native has to do some nice defensive work. And we get some friendly discussions after the whistle. Oh, now we got something going here. Now we got the gloves drop. First fight of the season. It's Steven Leonard dropping the mitts against Dennis Gafarov, and a big-time knockout by Steven Leonard. Scored a goal, got in a fight. Now he needs an assist to complete the special type of hat trick in our beloved sport, the Gordie Howe hat trick.
The Gordie Howe hat trick.
He's gotten 2 parts down and has the fight completed.
Oh, Dennis Gafarov really... Gafarov threw the first, I'd say about 5-6 punches there, catching nothing by the helmet, and Steven Leonard threw one punch, and he knocked Gafarov down to the ice. So we'll take a break here. Hat Tricks lead it 3-0, 7:01 into the second period. Well, for a comfortable stay with great amenities, the only choice is La Quinta by Wyndham, right here in Danbury. As for the Hat Tricks friends and family rate, you can't beat it. La Quinta. And apparently you can't beat Steven Leonard in a fight either, because, oh my, that is a one-punch KO.
You can see across into the penalty box as he is putting his uniform back together. He's just entirely piecing his protective garment and his jersey back together. We still don't have...
Yeah, I'm not sure if Gafarov is not in the box because he's hurt. I did see him initially head to the box, but he is not there now. Oh, there he goes. Well,
that's Alex Susi.
Yeah, that's Susi.
Gafarov, number 22 on the...
Yeah, so... and he's not on the bench. He may have gone to the dressing room. Now, Delaware doesn't have to put a man in the box yet, but at some point in the 5-minute penalty they do, because if that penalty runs out and nobody's in the box, guess what? You remain short-handed without him, so you don't want that to happen.
Wait, no, it's a fighting major, so that's treated differently.
Oh, right, correct. You got to until the next whistle. That's my mistake.
No worries at all. The native of Kokshete, Kazakhstan, drops mitts, and he has to sit down for a good long while as the puck drop for a moment, or fake drop. My honest-to-goodness least favorite thing in the entire sport. I absolutely despise the fake drop, where the official is just, here it is, no it isn't, now it is again, okay, now you can go play. As though we're treating grown male hockey players as though they're like 12-year-old children. Just hate it. I know this is a thing that's really about me personally.
Yes.
But oh well. Icing down at one end of the ice against Delaware. And yep, the applause for the 5 minutes for fighting. You know what you're here to see.
Daniel Amesbury is standing up on the hat-trick bench. Actually, most of the players are. But Amesbury pounding his stick against the boards and pointing at Stephen Leonard in appreciation.
He did his job, and he did it extremely well. Onto the circle, winds up, shoots it, blocked before it ever gets on net. Turning and gathering to try for another chance. They want it out front, not there. The hat-tricks will look and turn and get this down to the opposite end of the rink. Charging and knocked back up into neutral ice. Artur Cherkov will look for somewhere to go with this. Hat-tricks, the opposite end. Drop pass for Richards, wants it out in front, wanted a tip by Evan Lugo, the Sandy Hook native, a very local guy. Back come the Thunder on the 3-on-2. Circle winds up, shoot, blocked before it ever gets on net. Luke Richards with the stick tip to deny that opportunity.
Yeah, really good effort there by Richards.
Big check thrown there. Another check thrown. We might get some words as Brendan Dowler looked like he was ready to drop the mitts, but play continues. Throws another check against Seamus Lombard. Those guys know each other, and they were just about ready to go. Susi stepped in. Shot from the point, wide of the net. Running on and gathered up by Justin Movali. Movali winds up, shoots it. Saved made by McClendon. Rebound skitters across the open goal mouth and just wide. Now the hat-tricks being hemmed in their own zone. They're just trying to get out. They will get it up and along the boards and go for at least a partial line change and force a turnover. Jared Yao carries this one forward. Gordy Bunnell to the circle, dances around his defender and runs into the end boards. Has to retreat and reset at the point. Winds up, shot. Rebound is loose. Where is it still? Still not gathered. Up to the point again. Winds up, shoots it again. Blocked once more to the circle. Out in front. Yao on top of it. Shot. Wide and into the netting over top of everything. And that's that with 10:46. Amesbury on and trading some barbs with Cameron Wilson.
Yeah, the physicality picking up here, to say the least. Brendan Dowler had himself a very physical shift. He was giving and he was taking. He got level, too, on one big hit. And I think that made the big boy from Marbledale, Connecticut, a little upset because he threw a couple big hits after that. Looked like he was looking for a fight. Nobody was willing to go, and it ended up being a really good shift for him. A very physical shift for the big guy. Dowler, 6'3", 200-pounder.
Up to the blue line, wanted a tip. That's off the pipe. The net came off its moorings, and the play has been blown dead. And Amesbury, well, he's trying to give the people what they came here to see, but the officials break it up almost immediately.
Yeah, and Amesbury's probably going to get a penalty here because Wilson wanted no part of it. Wilson, not that Amesbury dropped his glove, but he did throw a gloved punch, and Wilson just took it and really didn't react. And I would think Amesbury's going to go to the box here. Let's see.
The officials are just guiding him away from the mess.
Wow.
No penalty at all.
I got to tell you, I am very, very surprised. And looks like Billy McCreary, he completes the line change, but Amesbury remains out there. Very surprised, Chris. again, you got to have a little bit of discipline there and know who you're, involved with. And it's clear Wilson wanted no part of it.
Yeah. Puck flutters into the attacking end, gathered up and running the opposite side with it are the Thunder out to neutral ice. Brendan O'Reilly had that play, retreating and looking for somewhere to go with it was Boyko. Hands it down. 10-15 and change left to go in the second stanza. Big check thrown. Puck is loose. To the goal line extended. Turns and looks. Wants to get this one. Turnaround shot. Save made again in net by Martin. Thunder just trying to get out of their own end of the ice. These shots 25-5 in the first half of this hockey game.
How many of those shots have come off the stick of Dustin Gesso?
Oh, they've been updated 26-8. Not as lopsided, but still lopsided.
Still lopsided.
That's not... Oh, the music comes on and plays. They have to kill it for the moment as play continued, and they realized that. Everyone in the building thought there would be icing, including myself, quite frankly. To the slot, shot, and in. The Delaware Thunder get their first goal of the season on the Ripper by Alex Soucy to make it a 3-1 game, and here come the Boo Birds. Intended for the native of Baker Brook, New Brunswick.
Yeah, listen, it's a broken play. The puck, as they come over the blue line, it's a loose puck. Soucy picks it up, skates with left, and listen, got a little traffic in front, and he zipped it by Frankie McClendon. That's a good-looking play by the veteran Soucy. And hey, Delaware has been vastly outplayed in this game, yet it's 3-1 midway through the second period.
Not even a little bit incorrect. 9:32 left to be played. They get one through McClendon. Puck flutters up, running down to the goal line extended. Thunder will settle this one on the red line, looking to run this forward, dances around, looks for another shot, save made by McClendon, and that's a very important shot for Frankie McClendon to stop. Is the first one he faces right after the goal. We're going to take a quick breather, come back in just a little bit from the Danbury Ice Arena here on the Danbury Hat Tricks YouTube channel.
Well, God bless America here at Danbury Arena on opening night. Hat-Tricks leading 3-1. 2 goals now here in the second period. Dustin Jesso's second of the game. Evan Lugo was given an assist on that one at 3:57. And then just answering back just moments ago was the Delaware Thunder, Alex Susi, with his first goal of the season, Delaware's first goal of the season.
9 minutes, 9 seconds left to be played here in the second period. A competitive game, to say the least, for the second period, a physical game as well, where the Hat-Tricks have gotten the better of the shots, but Delaware's still in it. Shot, big-time blast from Brendan Dowler. Great save by Martin. Flung off the glass down to the opposite end. Springs to the circle. Ruiz can't quite complete the stick lift. On charging to try and come downhill for another shot. And chance are the Thunder comes down and back out to neutralize 2-on-2. Himalayan runs this, turns, looks. The slot, Bennell wants to leave it there. Turns around and looks for somewhere to go with it. Bennell throws it on net. That stop is made by Martin. Out in front and covered up. Good sprawling play. Very good diving across play by Martin to blow that play dead.
You know, we mentioned earlier how Seamus Lombard went to training camp with the Danbury Hat-Tricks, got cut, signed with Delaware. There are 2 other players with hat-trick ties that are playing for the Thunder tonight. Defenseman Brendan O'Reilly, who played 7 games last season with Danbury before signing with Delaware, and also defenseman Joe Brennan, who was a part briefly, played 4 games in the inaugural hat-trick season of 2019-20.
Puck comes around the opposite side. Nice check thrown, trying to jar the puck free. Hat-Tricks keep this in, and we'll send this down. Tumbles. Thunder looking for some play in the neutral zone to gain the offensive end. They do, but can't really do anything more with it than just run this a little bit forward.
See that an assist has been added on Susi's goal. Brennan, the former hat-trick, gets the assist.
Oh, and another hat-trick defensive lapse and a goal allowed to the Delaware Thunder out in front. Oh, boy. 3-2 with 7:31 left to be played.
Yeah, Frankie McClendon's probably going to want to have that one back. You know, he had a clear look there. There was no screen in front. Shot coming from the right wing, and it ducked, inside the post there. He just didn't quite have his angle set up. And that's now 2 goals on the last 3 shots against Frankie McClendon. And indeed, we have a game. It's 3-2.
It's Alex Susi who gets that tally. He has both of the goals for the Thunder. That shot on just a little bit wide off the immediate follow-up by Dustin Jesso. Has 2 scores of his own. Knifes his way around a defender a couple of times. Puts it up to the blue line. Shot blocked before it ever has a chance to go on net. Running down to the circle is Tobias Ojek. Still muscling his way through. Lofted across, point shot, save made, and sent into the opposite boards. That shot flung a little bit wide, charging to keep this in the attacking end is unsuccessfully Andrew Whalen. Thunder out, save made by McClendon. 6:40 the time remaining. Out, backhander, save made, didn't know where the puck was, knocked away. Thunder now getting some offensive zone time, and McClendon is going to cover up this puck.
And Amesbury looking for a fight.
Here we go.
And he's not going to get a willing participant. And now Frankie McClendon, he exited his crease because there's some action there as well.
Yep. You knew that is what the people came here to see. They are not being disappointed by the physicality and effort.
And that was Susi.
Yep.
That just backed away from Amesbury. And let's see if Susi gets a penalty. He may not. And if he doesn't, that's another undisciplined penalty by Danbury. That would put Delaware on the power play in a 1-goal game. Let's see how the officials hand out the penalties.
It very well might be Amesbury has taken his spot. He knows where the home penalty box is.
Yeah, he learned that pretty quickly. Well, let's see.
They're still deliberating about this.
Yeah, they're talking about it. I mean, there's no doubt that Susi backed away. He didn't drop his gloves.
No. He didn't want any part of Amesbury, and I can't really say that I blame him for that.
By the way, the goal was credited to Artur Alaelian, the 22-year-old, who you may remember from the final home game, in fact, the final regular season game, the Hat-Tricks played last season. Delaware defeated the Hat-Tricks here, and in that game, Alaelian made his professional debut. 2 goals, 1 assist, 3 points.
That's pretty good.
And now he gets a goal here tonight to bring Delaware back to 3-2.
The Omsk, Russia native coming out here and getting a meaningful opportunity. As in the background here, you hear Herm Sorcher lighting up the crowd, and the arena has made a couple of meaningful additions throughout the course of the season. TK's Corner being one of them, partnering with our friends over at TK's American Pub to bring another in-arena experience. Looking to see what they have on the television. It's the intermission report for ESPN's coverage of the NBA, I think.
Yeah, looks that way.
We'll get plenty of things to do here at the Danbury Ice Arena. Of course, just across the way, mixing a couple of fun things, consuming alcohol and throwing axes.
Yeah, the Axe Tricks Lounge, which opened last season. Real popular spot. But here, I love TK's Corner because you can hang out, you kind of get the bar vibe and everything. You do have the big screen TV, but you're right here. You're right in the corner.
Yep.
Of the goal that the Hat-Tricks defend twice, in a game. It's a great spot. You're kind of high up, a little bit lower than we are in the broadcast booth, but you get a really good look at the action. And again, you get the bar vibe and you got the TV going. Really great idea, and of course TK's has been an awesome sponsor here with the Danbury Hat-Tricks.
Yes.
For several years now. So great idea, and it's packed right now. TK's Corner packed for tonight's season opener.
Let me give a quick word to one of our sponsors and one of the many different types of alcohol you can consume at TK's Corner, and another sponsor out here, New Haven Nighthawk Brewing, brewed right here in Connecticut and featured in the Rabbit Hole. New Haven Night Brewing is the beverage of choice at the Danbury Ice Arena. Grab a cold one and party like you are in the Elm City.
Well, the officials have broken up their conference. Johnny Ruiz was given an explanation, and he comes away shaking his head. And now he's explaining it to Billy McCreary, and McCreary is at the front of the bench speaking to the official. And Billy put up 5 fingers, and he was shaking his head. So we're just going to have to wait for the official announcement. Right now, Amesbury is the only player that's in the penalty box. And also, now on the other side, now the officials are done speaking with McCreary, and they're over in front of the Delaware bench now as Lou Santini gets an explanation. So let's see. You would assume Danbury is going to be shorthanded here, and it looks like Luke Richards, is going to serve a minor to Amesbury. Amesbury must have been given a major penalty. So they're both in the box right now.
He was given a 5 for fighting, and then maybe another minor on top of it might be my guess.
Unless he was given a misconduct.
Which is also possible.
You know what? We'll have to wait and see. Right now, Hat-Tricks have 4 players on the ice in front of Frankie McClendon. Face-off will be to Frankie's right, and Delaware does go to the power play. So, Richards will serve the minor penalty.
Hat-Tricks have been perfect on the power play, or on the penalty kill so far. Nobody has scored a power play goal so far here this evening. Even the first Leonard goal, even the second Gesso goal was scored as a result of a power play, but right as it was expiring.
So we did get 5-minute fighting penalties to both Amesbury and Susi, and a 2-minute instigator minor to Amesbury. So that's where the power play takes place. Also, Susi, a gross misconduct. He has been ejected from the game for physical abuse of official.
Oh, that's not what you expect to see out of these sorts of things, but those be the rules. You cannot do that to an official. So, gross misconduct of physical abuse towards an official, and our first ejection. Boy, howdy, you expect to come and see a hockey game and see some physicality, and you are extremely not disappointed.
Yeah, no.
Hat-tricks are going to fling this down to the opposite end. Martin will gather. Yep. They're announcing the penalty over the public address microphone here at the Danbury Arena. Here's a giveaway. Chance for a goal here to the circle. Tumbling down. Bonnell and Ruiz tried to combine and they got interrupted. To the blue line, looking for somewhere to go with it. To the circle. Looks for somewhere to go with it. Hat-tricks will carry this one out. Leonard will just hold it, shield it, swing it across. Whalen in front. They wanted the tip from Bonnell. Couldn't quite control it correctly and get it home. Leonard with it. Bonnell winds up, shoots it. Save made by Martin in the Delaware net. Who's on the power play here again?
Yeah. Really good penalty kill so far.
Oh, a spring chance on in. Looks for the shot. That's tipped away. I think McDonald got a stick on it before the shot came on net.
Yeah, good call. McDonald with a good play there, chasing from behind.
Out in front, McClendon with the stop. Puck knocked down at the circle, carried out to neutral ice, ran into the official. Did Zach Pamela on? Oh, he's not going to be a very popular man in this building. Would have had a clean old breakaway opportunity. 12 seconds left to go on the penalty kill. Pamela on, finally going to get that chance. To the blue line, tries to chip it forward, keeps it with it. Final couple of seconds will burn off. Absorbs a big body check right as the penalty expires. Hat-tricks stay on the attack. For but a moment, charging on late was Luke Richards. Amesbury still has to serve out his major, but they're back to even strength on the ice. And that'll blow play dead with 4:17 left. We'll take a breather, come back in just a second with more of this hockey game between the Hat-tricks and the Thunder on the Danbury Hat-tricks YouTube channel.
Texas Roadhouse is located on Newtown Road in Danbury. It opened its doors locally in 2017, and it's known for hand-cut steaks, cactus blossom, fall-off-the-bone ribs, made-from-scratch sides, and fresh-baked bread. The restaurant prides itself on its legendary food, legendary service, and legendary fun, the Texas Roadhouse. And Seamus Lombard really wiped out Zach Pamelayan.
Yeah.
Two guys that went to training camp together. They were briefly teammates during training camp, and boy, Lombard ran Pamelayan, and I thought he might have gotten hit with the penalty because that hit was very high, head level. But he did not get a penalty. We remain 5-on-5.
Hat-tricks looking for a strike, save, and gathered up by Martin.
So the Hat-tricks have allowed Delaware back into this game.
Yes.
It's 3-0. You're outplaying them in every facet of the game. And then Delaware comes back with 2 goals in this period. It's a 3-2 game, and their goalie, Trevor Martin, is playing really, really well. All of a sudden, if you're Delaware, you got to think, hey, we can come in here and steal some points. They just need to get that equalizer.
This will be spun out to neutral ice. Running downhill with it is Houston Wilson. Gets worked off the puck.
That's
and
a
back.
good play right there.
Yeah. Hat-tricks looking for more. Shot save made. Big juicy rebound. The follow-up chance goes aside. Ruiz looking for it out in front. Leonard on top of it. Ruses and looks, retreats. Leonard wanted to get it up to the point. Wants it on net, tipped through. Ruiz wanted it, sneaks to the end boards and back out to neutral ice where Kodiak White Duck, the Maniwaki, Quebec native, which is one of my favorite place names on this team. We'll just have to go back and gather it.
Great save again by Martin. He went into the scorpion save against Johnny Ruiz on the doorstep.
Wanted it out in front for an on-charging Jared Yao. Not there. Interrupted by the awaiting stick of Houston Wilson. Back come the Thunder. Eludes. Good check thrown by Yao to jar the puck free. We're under 3 minutes left to be played here in the second period. The Thunder really came to play here in the second. Oh, look at the chance. We've got a penalty going against the Thunder. It's a hooking minor with 2:43 left to go in the second period.
And again, sorry to cut you off, Chris, but again, it's Dustin Gesso. He drew that penalty. He was a one-man show, just skating right through the Delaware defense. And I mean, it would have been one-on-one. It would have been him and Martin had he not been hooked from behind. So he draws another penalty and gives Danbury a chance to put their stamp on things here and regain the momentum. Big power play late in the second period, up by 1.
Loic Pierre-Louis sits for 2 minutes for the hook. 2:42 left to go here in the second period. Puck is down. Hat tricks 0 for on the power play so far here tonight. So are the Thunder. You can say good things about the penalty kills for both teams and bad things about the power plays for both teams. McDonald, circle shot. Big slap shot on the windup by Ruiz and gets stuffed.
Yep, he's kind of in that Alex Ovechkin spot where he loves, in the left circle on the power play. Hooked me up with that one-timer, and he got the one-timer, drove it on net, but Martin had a clear look, made the good save.
Up to the blue line. Dances and cuts his way through. Slowly and methodically. Up to the circle and threw it right onto the awaiting stick of John Amantidis. Hat-tricks down to the circle. Ruiz winds up, shoots it, save made. Rebound is gathered up by Martin right in his own crease. And good timing, too. There's a man charging right on top of him.
Yeah, it was Leonard coming in, sniffing around for the loose puck. So Johnny Ruiz heating up a little bit here. Johnny's been pretty quiet so far tonight, but coming alive on this power play. A couple good opportunities, but boy, Martin continues to stand tall.
Ruiz with an assist on the 2-0 goal in the first period. Ruiz slapper just misses the crossbar. He wants it. You know how badly he loves scoring. Ruiz winds up, bombs it again. Puck bounces out to the opposite circle and out to neutral ice. Oh, you know how badly he wants one.
Johnny with 49 goals last season. Danbury hat-tricks franchise record.
Drop pass, circle shot, wide. 45 seconds left to be played. Knifes his way through. Eludes and looks, just keeps it on his stick, does McDonald. Sends it up, walking in. Kamaleon will just send it back up to the point, and that eats up McDonald's stick, and on come the Thunder. Kaufman, shot, save made by McClendon, his biggest save of the night. Back come the hat-tricks, looking for more goals. Leonard, Kamaleon shoots it high, sits on top of the net, out. Net is open if they can get it there. Shot save made by Martin, and he swallows it up with 53 seconds left to go in the frame.
Great scoring opportunities for Danbury there, and boy, Martin, I am really impressed with this kid. He lost his stick in the scrum there, but he scrambled back to get into position without the stick, and he made just a terrific stop there on Evan Lugo, where he just squeezed the puck blocker, holding the puck against his body. Great save.
To the circle, looking for more. Hat-tricks with only 5 seconds left on the power play. The Thunder are going to kill it off, but not for lack of Danbury trying. Shot save made by Martin, and he'll swallow that up.
And another good play by Dustin Gesso.
Yeah.
Controlling the puck, waiting, patient, waiting, carry the puck, control it behind the net, and then just a slick little feed in front. And Tobias Ojic with the short one-timer. But again, Martin makes the stop.
If you're thinking on who the player of the game is, so far as this is going to be a, rush into the goaltender.
Yeah,
and
I don't think it's a penalty. It's just the net comes off the stanchion.
Yep.
Lugo going hard to the net. And we are back to 5-on-5 hockey with 37.1 seconds to go. And Danbury right now with the 3-2 lead, again unable to cash in on the power play opportunity. Though, I will say that was their best looking power play.
Absolutely. And not for, they did not score there, but not for lack of effort.
And really good looks.
Yep.
Really good shots.
Thunder looking to get one more goal. They've scored 2 so far in this frame. Throw it out in front. Tips it. Save made by McClendon. Patrick's looking to gather this. Ran into the side boards. Up to neutral ice. Can somebody get one more offensive rush? Maybe not, as the final 10 seconds are here. Carried forward. Dumped in. Racing to go and get this puck, but not with the most enthusiasm as this final horn hits. Danbury leads 3-2 at the end of the second period.
Yeah, you said it, Chris, and you're right on the mark there. You said, right now there's really no question about who the star of this game is, and it has been Trevor Martin in his pro debut. This kid from Alberta has played really, really well, and has been a difference maker. He kept Delaware in the game when they could have been run out of the building.
Yep.
He kept them in the game, and then when Delaware does get back in the game, Danbury has a chance to extend that lead again, get it back to 2 goals, a little bit more breathing room, but no, that was Martin's best stretch, I thought, of the game, those final couple minutes of the period there. So, right now you got a 1-goal game, and it's really, you're one mistake away if you're Danbury from being in a 3-3 game of a game that you should have run the opposition out of the building.
Shots in the first period were 20-3 in favor of the hometown Hat-Tricks. Shots in the second, 19-10. Not as lopsided, though still lopsided, to put that in one certainly simple way. You see the pucks being chucked onto the ice. We will take a breather for the second intermission and come back with the third and final stanza of regulation from the Danbury Ice Arena here in Hat City, USA.
Well, back here at Danbury Arena, letting you know that Dr. Matt Hartsburg is an official member of the Danbury Hat-Tricks medical team. Hartsburg Chiropractic is cutting-edge chiropractic care right here in your backyard. Check out Hartsburg Chiropractic. Get on the road to a pain-free hockey season. About to start the third period at Danbury Arena. He's Chris Lynch. I'm Jim Cerny. This is the season opener. Danbury right now clinging to a 3-2 lead. Ran out to a 3-0 lead. 2 goals in the first period. Dustin Jesso and Stephen Leonard giving the Hat-Tricks a 2-0 lead. Jesso then scored his second of the game. 3:57 into the second period to make it 3-0. But Susi at 10:28. Allion at 12:29 for Delaware. And we are at a 1-goal game. Boy, that, it's such a cliche, Chris, but that next goal is huge right now. Whoever scores it, that swing, you don't get the feeling that Delaware is going to rally back from multiple goal deficit in the third period.
A second time, anyway.
A second time.
Yeah.
But the flip side is, if Delaware scores here, man, they've just seized momentum, and probably you just pull the life out of the building if you can tie the game. So let's see what happens when the puck goes down here.
Ruiz out to take the draw for the Danbury Hat-Tricks. A relatively quiet game for the Hat-Trick captain. Maybe he doesn't really like wearing that number 24 jersey. He wants his more typical number 19 back on his back. But this is what they're playing with here, as the regular uniforms didn't come in. The NA3 jerseys will suffice for the time being. The third period is underway from Hat City, USA. So find its way down to the opposite end of the corner. Still hacking away at it at the circle, up to the point. Steps in, looks, wants to fling it forward. Delaware knocks that down before they can go anywhere with it. Ruiz breaks it up initially. Thunder break it in, cut to the circle, winds up, shoots it wide and low to the right of Frankie McClendon's net. Hat-Tricks will push this one out to neutral ice and to the blue line to gain the attacking end. They can do nothing with it, at least initially, and Delaware looks to make that permanently on this shift. Thunder will just chip this in and go for a line change. Whalen tries to muscle this one forward, takes the check, puck sits. Tamuelan will get on top of this one, looks for it, cuts through a couple of defenders, runs it down into the corner, up to the point for Dowler. Winds up shot, save made once more by Trevor Martin, who has been the number 1, 2, and 3 star of the game, if we're being honest.
Dustin Jesso almost got a stick to that one there, and he would have been, he was that close to the hat trick, so I guess he's in the star category as well tonight.
Absolutely.
But, it's a good job. Dowler gets the shot right on net, and Jesso's in front looking to make a play, and he just was unable to get his stick to it.
Tobias Ojic with a big old body check. Now looks to run this forward, cuts through, circle, shot. Really couldn't get a handle on the puck, otherwise he had a shot at his first goal of the season. Had 11 goals, 18 assists for 29 points in 31 games played. Is a very young man in this league.
Yeah, he was 20 years old when he made his pro debut. Turned 21 in December and had a very, very strong rookie campaign.
Winds up shot, save made. Kodiak White Duck had the attempt. Got denied, didn't know where the puck was. And now the Thunder will try and lug their way out. They'll get it to the blue line and really no further. They played it back into their own end for a moment, so it wouldn't have been offside.
Oh, my goodness.
Big old check thrown here. Billy McCreary with his hands up as Kodiak White Duck took the brunt of that hit, tumbling down into the boards. No penalty coming here, despite the protestations of Billy McCreary and John Krapinski.
Well, let's let the play run out. I'll tell you why I have a problem with that hit.
Blue line walks in, shot, and into the protective netting. Jim Cerny, the soapbox is yours.
Yeah, Chris, I have no problems with the hit per se. Yeah, he crunched him into the boards, and he folded White Duck over the board and everything. That happens. That's hockey. Except the puck was nowhere near either player. That is interference.
Yep.
That is textbook interference because the puck was nowhere near either player. It's a Terrible non-call by the official.
This is lofted back out to neutral ice. Danbury gets on top of it. Gains skating as though they are going on a power play here when it's just simple 5-on-5 hockey. And a pretty slow, rather humdrum opening to the third period outside of the hit on White Duck.
Yeah.
Whalen runs this back. Intercepted. Would have been offsides had Houston Wilson run that forward. Whipped around the dasher. Turnover taken away by the Hat-Tricks. They send it back out of the attacking end. McDonald retreats all the way back to the blue line. This is tipped and knocked down. And at this point, it's just keep away for whoever wants the puck for more than a few seconds. Nice good shift by... That's Andrew Whalen who's out there taking some punishment. Springs for an attack for Delaware. Up to the slot and knocked away. Good stick by Pemeleon before any more can be done.
Andrew Whalen played a couple games with Delaware last year.
Yes, he did.
31-year-old is veteran defenseman. Really going to play a lot of big, important minutes as the puck is frozen there. 4:19 into the third period. He's going to play a lot of important minutes for the Hat-Tricks this season because they have a lot of youth on their back end. And he's the one veteran guy, that they have back there right now to rely on.
The Hamilton, Ontario native, born on Christmas Day. I think that's alternately a really cool day to have as your birthday, and kind of a terrible one to have as your birthday.
Yeah, you're only getting
one set of
gifts.
presents.
That's it.
Oh, we got a hit. The net comes off its moorings. Tristan Mock, the player who tumbled down and got knocked into the boards.
Little housekeeping with the Danbury Hat-Tricks roster. We didn't mention earlier, Josh Diaz, a 22-year-old rookie from Surrey, British Columbia, is the backup goalie tonight to Frankie McClendon. But we should point out that Brian Wilson is back here in Hat City. Wilson, who won 11 games last season, had a goals against slightly above 3, had a really good rookie campaign, was let go from his tryout or his training camp tryout in the SPHL.
Shot settled down. Diaz is going to be getting the start tomorrow.
Yes, he will make his pro debut tomorrow. Billy McCurry wants to see what he has, but in the big picture, Brian Wilson is going to be skating, back into the crease here for Danbury in one form or another, either in a tandem or maybe in a lead role. He had that lead role quite a bit last year before veteran Peter DeSalvo was signed in January.
Diaz, a native of Surrey, British Columbia, came from the University of Saskatchewan. Shot on save made. Told me he got into hockey and really into playing goalie because he came of age when Roberto Luongo manned the net for the Vancouver Canucks.
Inspired quite a few people in British Columbia, did Luongo.
Yes, he did. We'll take a brief breather, come back in a moment with the remainder of the third period here on the Danbury Hat-Tricks official YouTube channel.
Back here at Danbury Arena, and right before the break, we were talking about Roberto Luongo. When I did play-by-play for the New York Islanders, we would hold draft parties at the Nassau Coliseum.
Yeah.
Because the draft was always a big thing for the Islanders, and because they were always picking high. Yes. So we had a goalie on the team then by the name of Roberto Luongo.
Yes, you traded him. Shot on, over the crossbar and out of play.
Yeah, wide open upper corner there. Somebody got to stick to that one and went up into the netting. But real quickly, I was the chump that had to announce to the crowd that Roberto Luongo, the savior that they had drafted just 2 years before, was being traded to the Florida Panthers so that they could draft another goalie named Rick DiPietro with the first overall pick. One fan was so angry, shaking angry at me, that he threw his free hot dog at me and hit me square in the chest. It was my fault. Roberto Luongo was traded. Wasn't Mike Milbury's fault. It was my fault.
Oh, my goodness. We'll have to make this a recurring bit of Jim Cerny stories throughout the course of the season. Oh, my goodness.
I got a couple good ones, but, yeah, I was the victim there.
Yeah, Rick DiPietro from my alma mater at Boston University.
For sure.
Yeah. One of the best collegiate careers of any goaltender you could ever imagine, but the pro career didn't exactly work out.
Yeah, injuries.
What a shame.
Yeah, it was a shame. Good career cut way too short.
Yeah, nice guy as well, having the chance to meet him as well. Goalie lost his stick behind the net. Danbury playing at a major advantage. Puck sits right behind the net. Check thrown from behind. Puck is loose, knocked down, and can't do much more with it, can Kodiak White Duck. He'll go over and get his puck, or get his stick so that he can actually do his job, and that is icing. That's kind of not a good icing to take.
Yeah, goalie scrambling to get his stick and get back in the crease. Yeah, not a good icing there. It's the second time in the game now that, Martin has lost the grip on his stick and it's ended up behind his net, and he subsequently would have to make a save. It happened twice already in the game.
13:41, the time remaining here in the third period of play. Pretty slow and methodical frame compared to the sort of stuff we had in the first couple of stanzas. One cuts this one in, wants to throw it out in front. Oh, how does that not go down? It sat just outside of the goal. How did that not go down? Hat-tricks throw this one out and back into neutral territory where Cordell Boyko has to track it down. How did that puck stay out?
That's a great opportunity by Zach Pamela on the rookie, and he's back into the offensive zone.
Quickly looking for it, shot just a little bit wide and around the opposite end of the attacking portion of the ice, skying for it, walking it, shot blocked down. Andrew Whalen with a good keep, gathered up by McDonald. This is the top defense pair. Shot at looking for the tip. It just goes a little bit wide and into the boards and rung deep into hat-trick territory. Whiffed on the clear initially did Whalen. He'll get it up to neutral ice before the Thunder can take it off his stick. That shot blocked, and some of the guys forgot that there was glass in front of him.
Yeah.
Shuddering at the fear of getting hit by a puck that's not really there. That shot is out of bounds. And by the way, that shot counter 44-13 in favor of the home team.
Yeah, Delaware hasn't had a shot on goal yet here in the third period. 7 minutes, 32 seconds gone by. Danbury still leading 3-2, and they're going to get another power play opportunity, as that is a delay of game penalty against Delaware, flipping the puck over the glass untouched.
That hit the railing right in front of the 200-seat level. It's really two seating sections here, the 100 on our side, the 200 on the other side, with standing room people who want a good look at the action right up against the glass.
Can't stress how big a power play this is for Danbury here.
Nope.
Their last power play was their best, but they're 0 for 5 so far tonight.
Leonard out to take the draw. He has one of the 3 hat-trick goals. Off the scrum, it's kept in at the point. Looking for somewhere to go with this is Leonard. Walks this. It's a delay of game penalty being served by Cameron Wilson. Puck comes all the way back out to neutral ice. Hat-tricks gather it up. Walks to the blue line. Will retreat and gather. To the circle, thrown across, shot! Oh, it hit the pipe! Johnny Ruiz denied by denied by the goalie, God and Metal!
Yeah, I was going to say, that one went glove side and beat Martin cleanly, but it caught nothing but iron, bounced right back out.
That's tough. Martin with some real good fortune as he tries to fling this one out. Can't do so. Hat-tricks have a minute and change left to go on this power play. Walks this down to the circle. McDonald spins and peruses his options. So we're in a supermarket. Down to the corner. Up to the left side on the point. Walking this one on, winds up, shoots it. Save made, net was open. Bunnell couldn't get on top of it quite quickly enough. So come back up and out across the blue line. You better believe that Billy McCreary is going to have an awful lot to say about this team's power play execution in the meeting after the game, regardless of win, lose, or draw here. Leonard up and forward with it to the circle, cuts it to the middle, flung out into hat trick territory, 15 seconds left. Delaware cuts in front of it. Good effort by Houston Wilson to just dump this down. The Delaware Thunder are seconds away from and will complete a 6th penalty kill successfully on their 6th attempt. Hat-tricks will lug this up through the neutral zone, up to the circle, out in front. They wanted the tip and couldn't quite get it home. Dustin Jesso's stick would have been his hat-trick goal first, fittingly for the hat-tricks. Jesso works, eludes the big check, tumbles down to the ice, and almost as soon as the hat-tricks power play comes to a conclusion, they're going to get another one here.
Jesso getting in the face of Artur Chirkov, who heads to the penalty box. As Chirkov heads to the penalty box, Jesso raced over to have a few words with him. And again, now Jesso is a very emotional player. He's one of the most highly skilled players in this league. Sometimes he can get himself in trouble, the emotions, if he doesn't keep them in check. But there he just had his say, and he immediately skated away. So right back to the power play goes Danbury.
Their 7th attempt on the man advantage. At present moment, they are 0 for 7 on such opportunities, as the officials are checking out Trevor Martin. This is the 2nd time that he has complained about something with his equipment. So he's getting that sorted out. Looks like he's good to go. They'll throw the helmet back on, make sure the net is nice and secure to its pipes, and we can play another segment of Danbury Hat-Trick's power play ice time. Winds up, shoots it, save made, big rebound opportunity, and cleared away by Justin Mavali before any more harm can come to the Delaware net.
So it's Chirkov 2 for tripping at 9:52. Danbury still leading by 1, 3-2.
Running this one on to the circle is Tristan Mock. Up to the point, backhanded to the circle. Very nice pass. Don and perusing, calling for it at the circle. Winds up, shoots it. Save made. Again by Martin. Running on down and trying to fish this one out. Hat-tricks will gather it. Up to the point. Leonard. Down to the circle. Leonard operating on a spot where normally defensemen are. They throw their forward on their shot. Save made again. Leonard keeps working. Minute left to go on this power play. In danger of going 0 for 7, but still with good chances. Winds up, shot. Save made. No one knew where the puck was. That somehow stays out. It trickles behind the net. Out in front, they're going to try this again. Oh, it slips through Johnny Ruiz's stick, begging for it. They'll go to the goal line extended. Down to the circle. Leonard trying to run this one on to keep it in. He does. Ruiz knocks it down. Shot, block, brave block by Cameron Wilson. 30 seconds left to go on the power play. Down to the dot. In front, score! 7-time is the charm. Hat-tricks power play goal. Their first of the season, punched in by Tristan Mock. The Westfield State, Johnstown, Pennsylvania native gets his first professional hockey goal.
Well, I was just going to say, if that power play didn't end in a positive way, I was going to say, boy, they need to get more traffic in front of Martin. It seems like Jesso, and then I noticed Mock earlier in the power play. Jesso and Mock are the only two guys really creating traffic in front of the goalie. And boy, who's there in front to redirect the centering pass right between the wickets of Martin? It is
Oh no, a goal right immediately at the opposite end of the ice. That took 14 seconds before Delaware cuts this deficit right back down to 1. Artur Aloyan, his 3rd point of the night, had a goal and an assist earlier, and the Omsk, Russia native, has lit the Hat-Tricks home arena up in both games he has played as a member of the Thunder.
Yeah, and that was a gift. It's a misplay. Frankie didn't realize that where the puck was. He's looking around for it, and Artyom got on it and tapped it into the net.
So much, by the way, for not a whole lot happening here. Hat-Tricks immediately back into the offensive end. Nice body check thrown here, and lofted down to the opposite end of the rink, gathered up by Cordell Boyko to neutral ice. They're going to have to muscle their way through this game. Shot blocked away and into the opposite corner, working this through. Dances around as they're announcing the scoring on the Hat-Tricks power play goal.
Assisted by number 5, Johnny McDonald.
Johnny McDonald being credited with 1 assist.
Yeah, well, it was Johnny who made the great pass.
Yep. To the circle and still working hard for this one was Dustin Jesso's shot. That's off his glove and goes into the protective netting over top of the goal. So 7:12 left to be played. We'll take a breather, come back in a little bit with the final stretch of the opening game of regulation here at the Danbury Ice Arena here on the Danbury Hat-Tricks YouTube channel. .7:12 left to be played in regulation time. A couple of notes about the scoring on the last 2 goals.
Yeah, the Hat-Tricks took a 4-2 lead at 11:29. It was Mock, his first professional goal. McDonald and Leonard with the assist. And then J.C. Moritz tied it up at 11:44 after the giveaway right in front of the Danbury net. That was an unassisted goal for Delaware.
4-3 to score here as we are running out of time in this increasingly not young night. First night of the season here in Danbury, a season with an awful lot of expectations. Here comes Ruiz, looking for a play out in front, shoots it, that is stopped.
Yeah, that was a neat move by Johnny Ruiz. Great individual effort.
Up to the point, wound up, thought about shooting it to the slot shot. That's off the end boards, looking for somewhere more to work with it. Goal line extended, up top, winds up. We'll send it to the circle instead. Thinking about somewhere to go with it is Jared Yao. Shot, that's off the side of the cage. Hat-Tricks keep working this puck around. They have had some wonderful possession opportunities here so far tonight. Across the circle, backhanded, wants it in towards the slot. It trickles out, and retreating to get it is Leonard. Flung down, we're now under 6 minutes to play in regulation time here at the Danbury Ice Arena for what has been an entertaining and fun opening night game between the Hat-Tricks and Thunder. Springs through, backhander, save made by McClendon. His biggest save of the night, and one they desperately need.
Couldn't have timed your best save better than right there. 5.5 minutes remaining in the third, a one-goal game, and a terrific left pad save by Frankie McClendon on the break-in.
Houston Wilson, the man coming downhill for that attack. Boy, was that badly needed. 5:10 left to play. McClendon will send this one up. Just knock it down for Kodiak White Duck. Left behind him. Oh, a terrible turnover that Delaware cannot capitalize on. Those are the sorts of opportunities that will be ran over in film study over and over and over again by Billy McCreary.
Yep, there's going to be, listen, things that you're going to take out of this. It's the first game of a long season.
Yep. But still, there's stuff you have to clean up from this effort.
Oh, yeah, but that's what I mean. There's definitely going to be things on both sides. Both teams are going to want to clean up.
Left down. Nice check throw in by Brendan Dowler. Kept in, skying for it by J.C. Moritz. Got gathered up and swallowed by Frankie McClendon. And we're going to get one more brief timeout. We are going to take it and hop back in just a second with the last 4 minutes and 21 seconds in the Danbury Ice Arena here on the Danbury Hat Tricks YouTube channel.
Ultimate Limousine Service here in Danbury is the region's premier limo service. You ever ride in a Bentley? If not, call them up. Next time, you'll travel in style with Ultimate Limousine. That's ultimatelimo.ct.com. ultimatelimoct.com.
4:21 left to go here in regulation time. Shot wound up and sent to the opposite side of the attacking zone. Another shot on from the point. That's blocked down. Bunnell will dish it backwards for Ruiz, running with Leonard on his hip. Gives it to him. Dished across, wanted Bunnell, didn't quite have him at the circle. Bunnell spins into traffic, gets stapled into the boards, gets it to Ruiz, shoots it, save made. He had a defenseman up at the top. Ruiz wanted to shoot it. That's not a bad idea. Ruiz gets the pickoff, jumps in, throws this one across, down to the circle. Oh, it slips underneath Brendan Dowler's stick. And the Hat Tricks, they'll knock it down. Jared Yao makes a play on this. To the blue line, tipped, funneled through, still in the attacking end, and gathered up by Dustin Gesso. Cuts it in, shoots it! Oh, pummels into the goaltender and knocks the net hard off its moorings with 3:33 left.
Yeah, another grade A effort by Gesso, who has just been, far and away the best skater for Danbury tonight. Not just the 2 goals, but creating with his energy and his speed and his skill, the whole combination. And there he gets he makes a great move around the D, then he rips a shot on net and charge into that. He follows it, and after Martin makes the save, he goes crashing in, and Gesso thought maybe he got tripped up. I thought he lost an edge, but he thought he was tripped up, and he a little complaining to the officials, but Gesso's okay. Martin now working on his right pad, and he's okay as well. Fortunately, both guys come out of it unscathed.
Quick opportunity to remind you that we will be playing the second game of this weekend series tomorrow. Jim Cerny and I will have the call of the game tomorrow, just as we have your attention presently.
7 o'clock?
7 p.m. puck drop. Should be a fun time, and that's kind of the regular schedule throughout the course of the season. 7:30 Friday, 7 p.m. on Saturday. I'm not sure why that decision was made. Well, I don't make that decision.
You got people typically coming home from work on a Friday. A lot of traffic on 84 on Fridays.
I'm vividly aware of this reality.
Yeah, I figured you were.
Also want to make quick note that the NAHL Hat Tricks won their game in Maine, breaking a long losing streak, so a good night for one of the Hat Tricks teams playing, trying to make it a good, clean sweep across the different levels playing tonight. This will be sent forward. Hat Tricks looking for somewhere to go with it. Retreating. We'll have to figure out the 3 stars of the game at the next opportunity that we possibly can. Burning down time. This will get to the circle. Still looking, working at this one. Spins off, does Gesso. Up to the point he wanted it. Gets a beneficial tip, actually, off the outstretched stick of John Amantaditis. Wraparound shot, not there. 2:40 the time remaining. Delaware trying to get out into the attacking end of the ice, and Danbury denying them, doing a very, very good job in neutral zone. Shot on, save made. Working at this one is Tobias Ojek. Funnels it around the opposite side of the dasher. 2:25 left to be played in regulation time. Delaware running out of time. Ojek cuts it across neutral ice. Walks it to the blue line, walks on, shot. Oh, there was offsides there.
Yeah, and it was offsides. The issue you have with that is that it was such a late whistle. I don't know what the linesman was waiting for there, but a very late whistle, and that could be a dangerous thing. Ojek could wind up, take a shot, before the whistle gets blown when he was clearly offside. Fortunately, that did not take place, and we're back to action.
Shots are 52-15. You heard that correctly. 52-15 in favor of the hometown Hat-Tricks. And looking for more. Tip nearly goes down. Couldn't quite get that one through.
That's Tobias Ojek. He's another guy that will go hard to the net.
This is funneled across. Treating and going to get it is Luke Richards. That bounces out in front. There's a bunch of games that I've seen throughout the course of this season at this game and in the junior levels. Those corners create some bizarre bounces. Lofted down to the opposite side of the rink. Coming up on the last minute of the hockey game here tonight. Delaware looking for one more offensive push, trying to pull their goaltender and get the attacker.
Let's keep an eye on Martin. Oh, we got a penalty coming up here.
It's going against Danbury.
Oh, boy.
That's a terrible, terrible time to take an infraction. The fans giving them some choice words, but Jared Yao skates away. You cannot take an infraction. It's a 2-minute tripping minor. And so Frankie McClendon is going to be facing some pressure here as the Thunder have called their time out.
So here's the thing. I'm going to let you put your coach's hat on. You're Coach Santini, okay?
Yes.
Faceoff's going to be obviously in the offensive end. You got 63 seconds left on the clock.
Yes.
Do you go 5-on-4 with your goalie maybe down by your blue line, and if you win the faceoff, then he comes off? Or do you go 6-on-4 with the goalie pulled right off the faceoff?
I go 6-on-4 right there just because you have had so little offensive pressure. You need as many of your guys on the ice as possible because you just haven't created enough offensive opportunities for yourself.
I'm with you. I totally agree. I would go 6-on-4 here as well. And, the danger you run there is that Danbury wins it cleanly and they shoot it down the ice because there's no icing because they're shorthanded, and maybe they hit the empty net. I would aggressively go 6-on-4 here, and we're going to look down to the bench, and indeed, Trevor Martin's going to sit on the bench or stand by the bench, and Delaware will have 6 skaters on the ice, Hat-Tricks with 4, trying to kill the penalty with the face-off to the left of Frankie McClendon.
Johnny Ruiz trying to win the most important face-off. Delaware wins it cleanly. Now they go to work. Shot blocked aside by Steve Leonard. That's flung out of play. That's an offsides.
Yep,
so
across the blue line.
Yep, that'll stop play right there. Right in its tracks. So, 55 seconds left in regulation time, and a bit of a blunder, but also a great block by Leonard.
Huge play by Leonard, who's had a very, very good debut tonight for the Hat-Tricks in all facets of the game.
2 draws won pretty well by Houston Wilson, and McClendon is just going to glove this puck dead. Correctly so. The clock is still running. They accidentally ran a couple of seconds off.
And Delaware Thunder players on the ice. I wasn't looking at the bench. I'm sure they saw it there too. But the players on the ice, as soon as the whistle went, they looked up to the clock, see, oh, how much time do we have? And the clock's still running. So they put a couple seconds back on.
Drawdown. Delaware's won 3 face-offs in a row. Shot blocked before it ever has a chance to get on. Flung to the opposite end. And down! The empty netter for the hat-tricks with 39 seconds left. Good night, Hat City. Johnny McDonald flings it the length of the ice to ice the game.
And you talk about dead central, that was pretty much dead central. Sending it all the way down the ice from his own end on the penalty kill. That will be a shorthanded goal.
That's just right, exactly perfect, exactly the danger that you run into, but you don't have the luxury of playing for anything other than just getting yourself a chance here. The centermen did their jobs in winning all of those face-offs.
Except the first one.
And
then you got a great block from Leonard to pick him up.
Shot bounces to the opposite circle. Thunder just elude the check. A sterling effort for Trevor Martin between the pipes of the Delaware Thunder. Final 10 seconds. Winds up shot blocked aside. Good effort by Andrew Whalen to block that one. The whistle sounds. What do we have here? Were they trying to get to the bench? The whistle came away from the play, and oh no. Oh, there is a player down. Yeah, they are attending to a player and asking for a trainer.
Yeah, and there seems to be quite a bit of concern here. So Martin was trying to get off the ice, and then behind the play, I'll admit, I missed what happened behind the play. I was following the puck into the offensive zone.
I did as well. And only later after the play did we pick up what was left on that.
Yeah,
it was a hard hit thrown against him, and the camera was cutting away right as it happened.
Yeah. So I'm not sure. I know Amesbury was on the ice. I don't know if he was involved, but there is quite a bit of concern. Yeah. And from the angle where we are right now, we don't know who the player is that's down. I do know that there are 3 Delaware players surrounding whoever's down.
It is a Thunder player who is down.
Yes, definitely. And they're all on a knee right now, giving the trainer some room. And now even Coach Santini has come out.
We've got the replay here. We'll show it to you. This is... No, we don't.
All right, so we're taking
a look here. Yep, we see that hit thrown right as he's getting rid of the puck.
Right as he's getting rid of the puck. Can't tell who it is.
Cameron Wilson, number 6, I think.
And now who throws the check?
That's even harder to tell.
Yeah.
I'm not sure who actually threw the hit. I am pretty sure that it's Cameron Wilson who absorbed it.
Yeah, it was whoever it was a right-handed shot.
And a defenseman, which Wilson is.
No, I meant the Danbury
player. Oh, the Danbury player, yeah. Boy.
I see Johnny Ruiz is down there now talking with some of the Delaware players. I mean, listen. You want to play the game hard and, clean and it looks like from what we saw, looks to be just a hard check, and it looked like the defenseman just didn't see it coming because he was trying to play the puck up the ice, and he almost got lifted off the ice. He was hit so hard, and then he catapulted into the boards.
Even Billy McCreary came out, the head coach of the Hat-Tricks came out to attend to the player, and Billy is a hard-nosed competitor, but he's all about making sure that the athlete is always improved, however hard or however the game ends up going. Ruiz is telling some of the fans in the area to step away from him. He's going to be helped off to the bench with 8 seconds left.
Boy, oh boy.
Oh, goodness. That's the last thing you ever want to see in any sort of sporting event.
Yeah, it's very, very, very unfortunate.
It is Cameron Wilson.
It is Cameron Wilson, yes. The big defenseman. and he is going to be taken directly to the dressing room, and he looks woozy, and it's hard to tell. To be honest, the way he was moving, it could be some sort of lower body injury, but just the way he was being aided and the way he was hanging his head, you just hope it's not upper body, some sort of head injury there. Very, very unfortunate incident.
The Bracebridge, Ontario native, came up playing in the CPJHL and the NA3HL, made a bit in the GMHL, and then in Sweden, making his debut. Played in Poland last year, making his debut in North American professional hockey here tonight. That is that. The Danbury Hat-Tricks get their first victory of the 22-23 hockey season. A sterling offensive effort to get the victory, and they took a lot of shots. It took 53 of them to end up finally getting the knockout blow against the Thunder, and more specifically, goalie Trevor Martin.
Yeah, Trevor Martin was terrific, and you can't do it by yourself. I got to tell you, though, that if this was a year ago, Delaware would have folded real quickly. They had a little life to them. They took advantage of the opportunities they were given, and let's face it, especially that third goal. I mean, that was a gift, but they took advantage of it, right? They rode a great goaltending performance. Obviously, over the course of the season, they're going to need to play a heck of a lot better than they did tonight to get the results that they would like to get. But you saw a little life out of Delaware tonight that maybe you wouldn't have seen a year ago. But they didn't generate a lot of offense. Part of that is credit to Danbury, who owned the puck tonight. But it's also the opposition as well. And I'd be interested to see what happens tomorrow when these two teams meet, because there is a little bit of bad blood going on in this game.
Yeah.
Especially in that second period. And, when teams play back-to-back, things carry over. So, that's for tomorrow, though. For tonight, it's about feeling good. Hat-Tricks with an opening night 5-3 win.
A quick recap on the summary. 2 goals for the Hat-Tricks in the opening period of the game, those belonging to Dustin Gesso and Steve Leonard. 2 goals for Delaware and 1 for Danbury. Danbury's came first. Dustin Gesso with his second goal of the game, and Gesso's really the player of the game. As they're welcoming out Stephen Leonard, are announcing the
3 stars
of the game, the 3 stars. Leonard being announced as the number 3 star. The correct person being announced, Martin, as the top man, and Dustin Gesso announced as the number 1 star of the game. He's going to come out, tip his stick. Actually, they're just now getting Leonard out onto the ice.
He's raising his stick. He would tip his hat.
Yes, he's raising his stick and tipping his cap. Very, very good spinning of words there, my good friend.
Great performance tonight from Dustin Gesso. He was all over the puck. He ended up with the 2 goals in the game. Easily could have had more. Plus, he was creating for others as well. He was really in on the forecheck. He was, making himself a nuisance in front of the goaltender. And he played with such passion and speed tonight. And with him, it's always about playing on the edge and not crossing over. And I thought he did a really good job with that tonight, keeping his emotions in check. Dustin Gesso, the first star of the game. Trevor Martin, the goaltender for Delaware.
Incredible.
Yeah, 48 saves on 52 shots, and of course, 1 into the empty net.
Yeah.
A terrific night, a one-man show for Delaware. He was the number 2 star. And how about Stephen Leonard, signed just earlier in the week? He makes his Hat-Tricks debut tonight. He has a goal in the first period, picks up an assist later in the game in the third period on the Tristan Mock goal, his first as a professional, and Stephen Leonard is the 3rd star of tonight's game.
And the fun thing about it is this is game 1 of the season. We have many more to go, including one tomorrow night. You can catch us right back here on the Danbury Hat-Tricks YouTube channel. 7 p.m. puck drop. Jim Cerny and I will have the call once more. Jim, a real pleasure calling the opening game of the season. I'm looking forward to doing this a bunch more times.
Absolutely. Great job, Chris, and we look forward to bringing the action to the fans tomorrow night from Danbury Arena beginning at 7 o'clock.
That is all from the Danbury Hat Tricks official YouTube channel. Once more, for my partner in crime, Jim Cerny, I'm Chris Lynch. We hope you enjoyed your time with us this evening for the season opener. Have a good night, everybody. Please enjoy the remainder of your Friday night.